Canada, you're not allowed to be from Palestine anymore. They're erasing the Palestinian identity. This is my grandma's current Canadian passport. It says she was born in El Bassa, Palestine, but it expires this month and she's trying to get it renewed. According to the government of Canada, on her new passport, Palestine has to be removed and replaced with no country of birth. When you try to renew your passport in Canada, Palestine is not an option for a country in the drop-down list. Imagine being 90 years old and having your actual place of birth just erased from your identity. This is cultural genocide. Please make sure as many people see this as possible, so the government of Canada has to change this policy.
The hell? Lady, Palestine is not a country. I don't even understand why this option was there to begin with. Palestine is not a country. I'm sorry to tell you that. Here's the thing. I'm not against Palestine being a country. I want Palestine to be a country. Being in favor of the two-state solution means you want Palestine to be a country. But Palestine, as of right now, is not a country, and it never was. Maybe you should go look at the definition of countries. It's not a country. Countries are made up stuff. They're good made up stuff, but they're made up. Given that they're made up, it's based on international law. We came up together. This whole idea of a nation state is a modern concept. It requires international agreement. We don't have the international agreement right now that makes a country, that makes Palestine a country. But hey, we're trying to get there. In fact, the United Nations was offering Palestine to be a country right from the very beginning, in exactly the same time that they offered Israel to be a country. But guess what? They said no. Why? Because they wanted all of it. They wanted all of it. They were like, everything or not. Why are these Jews here? It was because they couldn't accept Jews being there. Even though there was enough land for everybody to be there, even though it would have been a win-win for everybody, because the Jews were bringing a lot of, human capital and other forms of capital, and it would have increased trade. If there were not so much anti-Jewish hatred, there were enough land for everybody, and it would have been peace and prosperity for everybody. It would okay, let's have Israel as a country and Palestine as a country. But unfortunately, the Arabs at that time, they were like, nope. No to us having a country and them having a country as long as they have a country. We want a country when they don't get to have a country. We will have Palestine when there is no Israel. That was the condition. And now Israel has a country and Palestinians don't have a country. So that it's not a country. People are like, hey, look, there's a coin here that it predates Israel that says Palestine on it. I'm like, yeah, we're not saying there's not a place called Palestine. We're saying there was not a country called Palestine. That area was named Palestine by the freaking Romans. And it was named Palestine, not Philistine, as the Arabs call it. Okay, because it's not even an Arabic name. It's not, you're like, oh, the Arab, there's an identity, the Palestinian identity. It's a Roman freaking name. How is this like an ancient Palestinian identity? There is no such thing. The Palestinian identity was created in the same time the nation state of Israel was created. There was no previous Palestinian identity. You know how I know this? Because the people who are living there are Arabs. And the name is Palestine. It has the sound P in it. Go look at the letters in Arabic. Do you see a P sound in there? There's no P in Arabic. That's why they have to, even though the name is Palestine, they call it Philistine, not Palestine, Philistine, because they don't have the same. They can't even say them. They don't even have the name. They can't even write the name Palestine. How is this their identity when they can't even say it? When they can't even write it, when they don't even have the sounds to say it. That's why they have to change the name that was given to them. What Palestinian identity are you talking about? The Palestinian identity was created by the United Nations. It's a new identity. Yes, that identity is there, but there's no country. Why should Canada recognize a country that the United Nations doesn't recognize as a country? What are you talking about? Do you know what a country is?
In Canada, you're not allowed to be from Palestine. And
what are you talking about? Just because the place that you are born is not a country, it's not recognized as a country, that what does that got to do with not being allowed from being from there? Like, what about other stateless people? These are people without a country. We're trying to solve that. If you stopped being so anti-Israeli, maybe we will find a solution for these people that don't have a freaking country, who are saying they're not allowed to be from there. They're allowed to be from there, but where they are from is not a country
anymore. They're erasing the Palestinian identity.
They're not erasing the Palestinian identity. The United Nations created the Palestinian identity because it did not exist previous to that. Okay, the identity that the people had there was Arab. They had the Arab identity. Okay, during the Ottoman Empire, the Palestinian identity was not a thing. The United Nations made it. The same United Nations that created the Palestinian identity is the same United Nations that hasn't recognized Palestine to be a country. So this is how international norms work. Sorry.
Grandma's current Canadian passport. It says she was born in El Bassa, Palestine, but it expires this month and she's trying to get it renewed. According to the government of Canada, on her new passport, Palestine has to be removed and replaced with no country of birth. When you try to
no country of birth, because she has no country, unfortunately.
Renew your passport in Canada, Palestine is not an option for a country.
Yeah, because why was it there to begin with? Those are list of countries. And Palestine is not a country.
In the drop-down list. Imagine being 90 years old and having your actual place of birth just erased from your identity. This is cultural genocide.
No, it's not. Your identity is not being erased, okay?
The government of Canada just left a voicemail on my Palestinian grandmother's phone and said that Palestine has never existed.
Good afternoon. I'm calling from Passport Services with Service Canada. I'm calling in regards to your passport application. This is just to advise you that per your previous passport, when we do issue your new passport per policy, your place of birth will just read El Bassa, no country of birth printed. Thank you.
No country of birth. According to the government of Canada, she was born nowhere. In Narnia, it was Terra Nullis, a land without a people for a people without a land. She was born in El Bassa, a Palestinian village that was raided by Zionist terrorists in 1948 and almost destroyed. And the government of Canada is perpetuating their narrative, is whitewashing history, is agreeing with them that nothing was there, that Palestinians and Palestine never existed. They are leaving messages on Israel's victims' phones saying you come from nowhere. You have no identity. Today is my Tata's birthday. She's 90 years old, 14 years older than the state of Israel. She has a country of origin. It's called Palestine.
Okay, I think this lady is an idiot. I don't know how she's switching up that place not being a country with that place not existing at all. Like, are you freaking serious? They're saying the place she is born is not a country. They're not saying the place she is born does not exist. What are you talking about? Like, how do you not listen to what the person is saying? How are you mixing these two up? Like, how much of an idiot do you have to be to not know the difference between these two? Listen to this again. Let's go from the beginning, okay? Let's do line by line. Okay, let's see. The government of Canada. Hold on.
The government of Canada just left a voicemail on my Palestinian grandmother's phone and said that Palestine has never existed.
Good afternoon. I'm calling from Passport Services with Service Canada. I'm calling in regards to your passport application. This is just to advise you that per your previous passport, when we do issue your new passport per policy, your place of birth will just read El Bassa, no country of birth.
So your place of birth will be no country of birth, okay?
Thank you.
No country of birth. According to the government of Canada, she was born nowhere.
How is this the same thing? She was born, like, how is no country of birth means that she was born nowhere? Do you have an IQ of 4.5? Obviously, she was born somewhere, and that somewhere is not officially a country. Holy crap. How is this person TikTok famous? Let me see what's their TikTok here. I forgot to mention. Yeah, she's getting so many. What the hell? She has 6,000 comments over this. Her TikTok account is Madamebudgler. In case anyone wants, I just want to give a credit. How is somebody saying that you are born in a place that is not a country the same as you were born nowhere? And look how she was making fun of it, like Narnia and stuff. Yeah, you're an idiot, and you think they're the idiot.
In Narnia, it was Terra Nullis, a land without a people for a people without a land. She was born in Al-Bassa, a Palestinian village that was raided by Zionists.
Yeah, that's what they said. Is it raided? Hold on.
That was raided by Zionist terrorists in 1948 and almost.
Oh, not yeah, sure. Like we can see how biased you are regarding your framing of what happened. So you're not a very trusted source of what actually happened.
And the government of Canada is perpetuating their narrative, is whitewashing history, is agreeing with them that nothing was there, that
nothing was there. No, there is something there. Lady, there are lands on this planet that are not officially part of any country. Saying that they're not officially part of a country, like, Antarctica, for example. If I say that that officially is not a country, like in certain parts of it, right? That doesn't mean that it doesn't freaking exist, okay? Like, for example, there is international waters, okay? That is not part of a country, that like you could go, there's certain parts of the ocean that you could go on a boat and you could go there, and I would say like, hey, here, this area is not a country. Does that mean that this area does not exist, lady? No. Oh my God.
Palestinians and Palestine never existed.
No, they're not saying that. They're not saying Palestinians never existed.
Leaving messages on Israel's victims' phones saying you come from nowhere. You have no identity.
Oh yeah, sure. That's what the Canadian agent said. They're like, yeah, I'm seeing that you are applying for renewal of your passport. We just wanted to call you and inform you that you are a nobody. You are nothing. You come from nowhere. This is the official position of the Canadian government's agent, that you do not even exist. Okay? We are so pro-Israel that if we find out that somebody is Palestinian, we actually deny your existence. I don't even know why I'm leaving you a voicemail, because people that we usually leave voicemails for actually exist in the real world. But you, madam, you don't even exist. So who am I even talking to right now? That was the official line-by-line position of the Canadian agent. Like, what? Why am I even talking to myself? You are a person that just like came out of air. Like, I don't know. Like, you are nobody. I'm talking to myself. Why am I talking to myself? That's what the Canadian agent was saying.
Today is my Tata's birthday. She's 90 years old, 14 years older than the state of Israel. She has a country of origin. It's called Palestine.
No. She has the place of birth, which is called Palestine, which is not yet a country. And we hope one day it will become a country. But unfortunately for anti-Israeli people like you are part of the problem. You're the reason, one of the reasons, your attitude is the reason why your grandma doesn't have a country yet. So if you're looking for somebody to blame, look in the mirror, okay? Look in the freaking mirror.